Woohoo! Welcome back, guys. Hey, I just put up a video talking about surface cleaner arms, but I have some more footage I'm gonna get whipped out. This is some stuff. This was basically like a clip of me talking back in, what was it, May 29th. And it's about, the topic of this video was that I was gonna put up, and I got a little wigged out about it, and then I didn't do it. But now I'm like, oh, fuck it, just put it up. So, but the topic of that particular video was titled Leveling the Competitive Playing Field. And that basically had to do with the idea of, when you're kind of getting out in reclamation and you feel like you're getting stomped in the competition, and wondering how you're going to stay afloat and how it's going to be practical or even feasible to make a logistical transformation that is like so extreme and financially appears to be just like untenable. Well, here's how you can do it. Here's one of the ways you can make it work a little better, a little easier, instead of it just being kind of a disaster. So we'll get into that. I'll put this footage up. But I was feeling, when I got this footage, it was on Memorial Day weekend, and me and my partner Jenny were heading out to a job out in Seattle. It was like an emergency thing at like 10 o'clock on a Friday night on that weekend, and I didn't want to have my employees go do it. So, it was a prevailing wage thing, and I thought it was a good time to talk about it. But, I got home and I was feeling weird about the video, and I didn't want to come off as, I don't know what it was exactly that freaked me out, but I felt like maybe it wasn't appropriate to talk about that, or I don't know, but I kind of got over that. So I'm going to go ahead and put up this footage, and that's what this video will be about. Smokey's bugging the poopy out of me here. What's up, Smokes? Yeah. You want some of that steak and salad on my plate? I want your quinoa. Yeah? Smokey wants a little steak treat. Yeah, okay. When you want a little steak treat, Smokes? Okay, let's see what happens when you give a husky. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, you eating Daddy's dinner? Yeah, he's eating dinner. All right, guys. Let's have a look at this. Thanks. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's what is it? It's fucking 10:30. Yeah, 10:30 p.m. on Friday night on Memorial Day weekend, and I'm headed out to, because I don't want to call my employees and bug them for this shit. I'm headed out to some kind of an emergency something or other in a parking garage for an old customer who is a hospital around these parts. Actually, it's a very important hospital. It's like the only tier 1 trauma center that handles all the really bad accidents for like the entire Pacific Northwest, Northern California, all of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and parts of Montana. So, if you know anything about the way these hospitals work, there's only so many of these hospitals. These are the same kind of hospitals that like they could take the president to. They have more capability, more funding, they have much higher security clearance, stuff like that. But these guys are one of my oldest customers. I've been working for them since 2012. And I went out on my own in 2011. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because this stuff is all really important for the kind of work we do for a lot of reasons. Okay, so you've all heard me bitch about on the videos about like, you're going to be doing all this extra shit and you're going to be losing most of your bids, and like, how do you effectively compete when you're trying to bring like fucking $70,000 more shit to a job site, and then try to like stay in business when some dude's going to show up with a little Home Depot fucking ripcord pressure washer and outbid the shit out of you because he's not going to be like picking up wash water or whatever. Well, and I said, there's lots of ways that you can attack this problem. One of the ways that I went about it and worked out really well was, look, some of you probably are aware of like what prevailing wages are. Prevailing wages are like it's all part of the Federal Data Beacon Act. This is like anytime you do work that's funded by tax dollars, the states or the federal government sometimes, or the state, like Department of Labor and Industries or whatever it is in your state, will get involved in this process and basically dictate to you what the labor rates are going to be for any type of work that you're going to be doing. So if you're working for like a high school or a library or a hospital or anything that gets tax dollars, might be subsidized housing, your state's Department of Labor, whatever that organization is going to get involved in that process, and basically they won't dictate the labor rates that you have to pay your employees, but they'll say this is what the minimum amount has to be, and they're all like sky high. They're insane. So in pressure washing, I don't know how it is in other states, but in Washington State, they actually don't have a labor classification for pressure washers. They have like bricklayers, masons, cement guys, bulldozer dudes, like HVAC guys, but they sort of, for anything they don't have a specific labor classification for, it defaults to some other one that they just say, we'll just use that one. And if you don't do this, you will get in a fucking ton of trouble. It's just like, you don't screw around with these laws. If it's a prevailing wage job, first of all, the customer's required to tell you that, and if they don't, they get into a shitload of trouble. But it's basically like, you're not allowed to, like, you know, pay some immigrant $12 an hour. The labor rates in Washington for nozzlemen, which is the labor classification that a pressure washer has to go by, is like, what is it, like 51 or something like that now? It's like 51.82 an hour, right? Yeah. Jenny here, she knows, she sees all this stuff more. She runs the office. But okay, so we went through an audit with this stuff a while back, because what happened was we had this one goofball who was like wanted to come try pressure washing, and this guy was like not cut out for this kind of work. And we get into this working with this guy, and he winds up basically quitting and making a bunch of like absurd demands, and I was like, you need to go find another job here, it's not gonna really fit in here. But we had taken him out on a couple of prevailing wage jobs, and he filed a labor complaint against me. And the investigators came in, did a big audit, and said, nothing's wrong. But basically, during that process, we got basically educated because we weren't doing it totally right. There was a few things I was unaware of, but what I'm trying to get across to you guys is that essentially your employees make way more than you would normally pay them. So, like, for example, I know one of my competitors, like whenever one of the owners goes out on a job, he makes like $15 an hour. This guy told me one time. It's like crazy low. I mean, I don't understand how people survive on that amount of money. But in a lot of companies, at least in this area, the way they do it is it's like it's all immigrants, Mexicans basically, that are just not paid very well. And but you can't do that with this kind of work. It's totally illegal. It's like a federal felony. So you have to pay these prevailing wages to your employees. But this is not a bad thing. This is a really good thing because it makes the bids way more expensive. You have to charge a lot more money. But this really gets down to the point of what I'm talking about. So like when you have to go out and compete against other companies who are not yet picking up wash water and thus are going to be able to seriously underbid you and most likely get the work, you got to bring every sort of strategic tool to bear you can so that you don't ever not do work. You have to do some jobs at least, even if you're getting crushed like we were for a long time. But one of the ways you can do that, what we did, and it worked out really well, was basically start building up your employees so that you have employees that are just like way better than your competitors' employees. They just do a better job. How do you do that? You pay them more. How do you pay them more when the market does not support crazy labor rates? Cultivate prevailing wage work. Now, this may seem like a really hard thing to do. Like, you know, how am I going to go talk to some county and like go up against some giant national contractor and outbid him or get into that whole process? It's actually not as hard as you think. But I want to go back to these labor rates again real quick for a second. So like for us, after we went through this audit, I knew about the nozzleman labor rate. What I didn't know about was that there had to be a separate labor rate for anybody operating mobile powered vacuum equipment. And Jesus Christ, that straight time labor rate is like $70 an hour, right? And it doesn't stop there. Like the pressure washer guy, the nozzleman guy, the guy who's basically driving a pressure washing truck that is not towing a piece of equipment that has a higher rate associated with it. The nozzleman rate's like $51.82 right now, or something like that. 53, 51, 50 something dollars an hour for the first 8 hours. Anything after 8 hours, up to 12 hours is time and a half. Anything on Saturdays is time and a half. Anything on Sundays is double time. I mean, you're talking $105 an hour. For every hour that guy works, you're giving him $105 an hour. There's federal holidays. Those are double time. So if you go do a job and you're on that job site for like 10 hours, well, guess what? 2 of those hours are overtime. It doesn't matter if you're driving back to your shop or you're making a wastewater run. Anything that has anything to do with that work has to be paid at that labor rate, even if you're not even physically on the premises. So one of the things we did was cultivate prevailing wage work. I basically got invited to bid to a couple of hospitals, and then ultimately we wound up doing a really good job. They wound up liking us. We wound up securing long-term contracts, and now quite often my employees routinely go out and make $100 an hour. I'm not even shitting you. I'm dead serious about this. The lowest paid one makes $104 an hour on Sundays. Like if we do a garage cleaning for one of the hospitals, which has to be done on a weekend because I can't possibly empty these things out during the week. My lowest ranking guy, who might have only been working with us for like 3 months, and I take him to a prevailing wage job or her to a prevailing wage job, she's getting $105 an hour on Saturday or on Sunday. She's getting like 75 or whatever 51.82 times 1.5 is. That's how much she makes on the Saturday. So a good 16-hour weekend is like, you know, that's like $2,000 or $3,000 in labor they make. The Vactor guys, anybody who's like towing a pressure washing truck that's towing a vacuum, that guy makes $69 or $71 an hour straight. So he's, what is that? That's like 95 on Saturdays or over 8 hours, and it's 140 on federal holidays and Sundays. So I got these employees, and they're all just like frothing at the mouth to get prevailing wage jobs because they make as much in a weekend as they make in a whole pay period normally. Normally they're like $30 an hour type things or whatever, but you know, they just make a absolute killing on these prevailing wage jobs. And that's one of the ways. Now, if you have employees that really want to keep their job, you can ask that guy, essentially, to do a really good job on your normal job sites. Because you can say, look, man, this prevailing wage thing, this compartmentalization, we don't compartmentalize between prevailing wages and just like regular private jobs in the commercial market. Like, you don't get to just like do a crappy job out in the world, and then when we go to the hospital or the library, you don't just get a duck in there. So we have this arrangement where I ask the guys, I'm like, look guys, and for some reason, well, not for some reason, because like I'm one of the only guys in the area doing what we're doing, like the way we're doing it, there's not a lot of options for these public agencies right now. So like we're one of the main ones, and we got really good employees. I mean, these guys are awesome, and the basically is because they're being paid. These guys make a really good money. So that's one way that you can level the difficulty and the competitiveness of the work that we're doing, because there's like a million guys pressure washing, right? But if you got employees that 10 or 15% of the time make like 10 times what any other pressure washer on the planet makes, right? Then you got an asset on your job sites. These guys will step up and do the right thing for you when nobody's looking, every single fucking time, because they know the situation that they have. They know how fortunate they are to be with a company that has a lot of prevailing wage work. They know if they go to our competitor, all that goes away. It's just not worth it to try to do a bad job or maybe try to get out of work early one day or sort of like leave a mess. These guys are actually dedicated to my customers the same way that I am as the company owner. because they're fucking paid well. So go get yourself some prevailing wage work and start upping the quality of your employees by finding ways to pay them better. Does that make sense? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. This is just a little side note. Like I said, there's a ton of things that I want to share with you that are going to help you deal with all of these barriers that get in your way, to make this just fucking painful and impossible during this like kind of transition phase where mostly people are reclaiming, but you're kind of trying to go out early and do the right thing. This is one of the ways you can get that done and pull it off. So take a page out of our book and go get them. All right, we'll see you guys later. Take care.